A good marriage is very difficult to find today in our modern societies. You see, very, very difficult to find. People do not have time for one another. People have time for lifeless things, for vain pursuits, ambition, and all these other things, materialistic gain. And in the process, they have sold their spirit and their soul in order to erect these lifeless things, whether it be buildings or neon lights or whatever it is. You see, and this what has suffered is relationship, personal relationships. You see, that is what has suffered dramatically. You know, parents don't have time for kids. Parents don't have time for each other. They don't spend time with each other, and then they live in a system that has been complicated by design, so that you substitute all the primary needs for not even secondary ones. That means that the void that there is for human love, to love your wife or your kid or your family, becomes coerced with a love for your career, or a love for your job, or a love for ambition, or a love for other things. You see, they don't require that kind of commitment. You have to choose. What the system wants is for people to be more committed to their jobs, more committed to all these other pursuits. You see, and so other human beings become threats. You see, because many times they tell you that you shouldn't do that. And that's the biggest threat to a commercial enterprise, or to a corporate way of thinking. You see, a corporation. You see, so that's why they remove everybody from, and they leave everybody with lifeless, inanimate things, and at best maybe animals and plants. That's all they leave them with. You see, because then when you go to a salesman or you go somewhere, no one else's voice will be with you. You see, it will be just their voice, and it's very easy to convince them. You see, so a good family and a good marriage is not a threat to the system. Now, when we talk about the Christians, they're even worse. Why are they worse? Because they copy the world. They substituted the wisdom of God, which is the Spirit of God, with the world's wisdom. So now we have a Christian Hollywood, Christian idols, Christian celebrities, Christian rock star, Christian rappers, Christian, all this fashion clothing and all these other vain things. You see, they've started all that. So now people go after this celebrity, Christian reality show. You see, and all the Christians going on other reality shows, making a mockery of the Spirit of God, praying in tongues before they go and eat worms or drink blood on Fear Factor. This is an outright disgrace. There's nothing sacrosanct anymore. You see, people don't understand, because what has happened is they have become robots. All the words are not filled with the substance of the Spirit of God, of these Christians. They are filled with the spirit that is running the spirits that are running the world. And what's running the world today is that people are being made zombies and clones. You see, where there's no heart really involved. It's just a biological process or a physiological process, or it's run by technocrats. You see, where you're just engineered. Your way of thinking is engineered. It's not coming from your own heart. You see, but you think it does. So you end up just thinking all this other stuff, that I need to do this and I need to do that. You see, the older generations are different even over here. in America, they are very, very different. They don't think the same as the younger generations. They have a lot more of the heart involved. You see? Where, see, if you love somebody, you have to spend time with them. There's no escape from that. You become filled with the substance of who they are. You see? So for example, when a marriage is going wrong, and the wife comes home or the husband comes home and they say, "Oh, I love you," the other one who loves that person can tell whether their heart is behind what they say or they're just saying it. You see? Or even when acts are done and someone's spirit and soul are not behind what they're doing, someone can easily tell that their heart is somewhere else. You see? For example, if a husband is cheating on his wife or a wife is cheating on her husband, many times the show is there. They even try to compensate for the dying desire in their heart for the other person with a bigger outward show. "Oh yeah, I don't worry, I took care of that, honey, I took care of this," but their heart is going far away, and the other person can sense. How can they sense? You see? It's because they received the words that they spoke with their heart and spirit behind the words before. So before, when the person really loved them, they told them, and their heart was there, their spirit was there behind what they were saying, and they received that. You see? But now, all these other things are going on. Nowadays, you're cheating on your wife, or the wife's cheating on her husband, or you love your job more than your family and your husband, or than your wife and your kids. Other things, materialism becomes more important than your relationships with people who you said you're committing your life to. You see? Now, hey, divorce is okay. Yeah, I can divorce, and don't worry, everything will be okay, and we'll take care of this and take care of. Look, this is Hollywood. This is corporate America. This is all these other things. And it's really bad because this is how the church is. The divorce rates are higher, in many places. They don't care about anything. They first people to say, well, I'm against this or against that, and then they hide and do the same things. You see? So this is why I say all these things, my friends, is that we've got to spend time with Jesus. We've got to spend time with the Spirit of God, Otherwise, we'll end up spending time with other things that will eventually start to own us and start to fill us up with the spirits that are behind them. You see? And we begin to be filled with those things, and then we begin to lose our love for other, more important things. You see? It's a very sad thing when you see someone cheating on their spouse and then saying, "Oh, I love you," and then the other person can see that the other one is lying. You should see the look on their faces, because it's like their whole demeanor just falls. I know what you're doing. And this is how it is with Jesus. Many times, what we do. This is how it is. And so we have to try our best to keep going to Him. See, the times that are the most important are when we are intimate with Jesus Christ. You see, just like we are with our families and whatever we consider as family. You see, when we're intimate with them, you're not around with all the distractions. Now, unfortunately, today we have families that are just engineered. There is no heart involved in the beginning. It's just people have been united for materialistic reasons, and you create families based on the same materialistic endeavors. No heart is involved. They are just engineered. This whole process has been engineered from the beginning. And these are the people that read things from books and do this and do that, and they try and go to a counselor who doesn't care about them, and it's all in the head. There's no heart involved. Oh, I love you, and the other one says I love you back, and then the kids say, oh, yeah, this. It's all like just robots talking to each other. Just robots talking to each other. It's very, very sad, because it's like drones, you just feel emptiness. That's it. People procreate and do all the biological and physiological things, but there's no heart involved, my friends. There's no heart involved in these things. It's death. It's turned into a chemical reaction. It's turned into atoms and molecules and all these other kind of inhibited and reduced and limited things to your genetics and genetic capabilities. It's just all dead. My friends, please spend time with Jesus and be filled by His Spirit. This is the most important thing. Hold on to your marriage with Him.